Hi, Annie. Hi, Luli. This is your lesson, Humans and the Web of Life. Okay, so we're going to start. Humans, we are part of the web of life. We breathe oxygen, we give off carbon dioxide. So we're part of the carbon and oxygen cycle. Our cells need food for energy, so we are part of food chains too. We are part of the balance of nature wherever we are, wherever we live, because we are affecting it when we build houses, when we eat food. But humans, we are different from other animals because we can make decisions and because we are responsible for other living things. You know that in the Bible it says, and there's the Bible verse if you want to check it later, but that it says that we are responsible for animals and that we have to take dominion over them. But dominion doesn't mean like dominate animals, it means being responsible and taking care of. And humans, we can influence the balance of nature, sometimes for good, but unlikely sometimes for bad. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the vocabulary. Exposed, sorry, exposed, expuesto, it's open and covered. Influence, influencia, means to have an effect on someone or something. Pollution means contaminación, dirty or not clean, like what's happening here with air. Okay, so we have two problems that humans we have caused in the balance of nature. One is loss of life, and the other problem is pollution. And we're gonna talk about that in a moment. Okay, so what about loss of life? Meaning that animals are dying, okay? When people move into an area, loss of plant and animal life usually happens. Why? Because humans, we need plant for buildings, we need a space to live. And you need crops for farming, meaning that you have to plant fruits and vegetables so you have something to eat. So what do? We need to kill animals for food, like the cow that you eat, the chicken that you eat. Um, and you also need to kill dangerous predators. For example, if you're building a city in the middle of nowhere, for example, the jungle, you would need to kill all the dangerous animals that would kill you first. For example, I don't know, a puma, a bear. Okay, so you would have to kill those animals. And then you would have to clear the land to have somewhere so you can plant vegetables and fruits. Okay? The problem with that is that trees are large plants that mature slowly over the years, and that they are the homes and food for many animals. So when we cut the trees and we cut them because we need them to build houses, to build different things, we take away their habitat, and those animals don't have a home anymore. Okay, and that causes change for the animals. Also, sometimes in cities we have to remove trees from places because they stand in the way of roads, farms, or building. Okay, when we do that, the balance of nature changes. Consumers have less plant life. Um, the population, of course, goes down because there are less plants to eat. Other animals must change their eating habits and they have to eat something else. And then even some animals depend upon humans to supply much of their food. And then remember that I said that when humans move into a place, they have to kill the predators so the predators don't kill the human. That causes a problem too, because if you take away a predator, then nobody is controlling the population of animals there. Okay, and that's a problem because the population of other animals that were eaten before by the predator starts to grow. Sick animals live longer and they all need food. So either starvation comes for all the animals, meaning that there's no more food and they start dying of hunger, or they start raiding farm crops and animals because they're hungry and then there's food. Or sometimes humans can become predators. Like what happens, for example, if you have a farm and you are using chemicals to kill animals or setting traps for animal pests, for example, mice or insects, you are going to kill other animals too, not only your pests. So that's a problem. That's why it's better to farm organic, but not everybody can do that. Okay. And then there's another thing called hunting, caza, like when you kill an animal as a sport. Um, some people enjoy that. I find it kind of weird, but okay. Um, but it has to be closely managed, meaning that the state usually has rules That's in the United States. I don't know in Peru we have those rules except for national parks, but in other countries you have rules of how many animals can you shoot and which type of animals. So some animals are restricted and you can't shoot because they are endangered. Okay, and in a way, hunters can keep the balance of nature because, especially if there are not other predators, the human works as a predator. Okay, and then we have pollution. Pollution, remember that it meant dirty, not clean. Factories, cars, buses, airplanes, and other machines produce waste products. Sometimes those wastes enter the air or the water in lakes, streams, rivers, and seas. Some of this waste is harmful to plants and animals, and that's called pollution. Air pollution can be even colorless, so you don't see it. It's not always, sometimes you know that you see a factory and you see like those, that smoke coming out of the factory, but sometimes that's just like water vapor and it's not harmful. Sometimes air pollution, it's not seen really because it doesn't have a color, but that can be a problem, okay? And I'm gonna explain that. For example, cars. Cars pollute the air and you don't see it, but it's there. Air pollution can damage plants. It slows or stops photosynthesis. When plants are exposed to it for many, many years, their growth can be slowed and the plant even may die because of the pollution. And for that, I have a really good example. If you go, I know that we haven't gone out in a while, but if you ever go out again, or if you remember how things were before social distancing or lockdown, you can remember that when you were in the car and you would like go near Javier Prado, you would see some plants in the middle of the road. And those plants look sick. They would be like black or gray and not that tall because they are like breathing in all of the carbon dioxide that cars are exposing every day. Okay, and then air pollution can harm humans and animals too. It can affect the life of the animal by weakening the body, making it weaker, and by reducing the oxygen supply to the lungs. Air pollution can shorten lives and harm lives, so it's dangerous. And then we have water pollution, okay? How do we get water pollution? We get garbage that gets into rivers and streams. How does it get there? First, people throwing it away, but sometimes if you leave it in the street or in the dump, un basurero, if it rains, water can take it there, okay? Um, and then you get chemical wastes from factories may be dumped into river or they can be washed away by rain and end up in rivers or streams. For example, if a farm uses chemicals to control insects and pests and then it rains, those chemicals are going to end up in water, in a river, in a stream, in a lake. And then sometimes oil tankers like this picture get damaged or sunk in the ocean, spreading a harmful layer of oil on the water surface, and that damages the animal, okay? Plants can be affected by polluted water too. Their growth may be slowed or stopped. And then polluted water can harm animals too, because they can, like, probably you have seen that before, like that video of a turtle with straw in its nose. They can become trapped in plastic, especially plastic. It's what's polluting more the ocean because plastic doesn't degrade in nature. It can poison them. And then what happens here, for example, with oil? Oil, it's dangerous for animals because they, especially waterfowl, like birds that usually swim in water, and insects. Why? Because their bodies become covered with oil and it's impossible for them to fly or swim because it's sticky and they can't get food and even they can't draw. So it's really sad. And then, as you see, pollution, it's a problem caused by humans and we're a threat to the web of life if we're not careful. Many people are concerned and are trying to find a way to reduce or stop pollution. What you can do to stop pollution, you can avoid plastic as much as you can. You can make sure that you're not producing that much trash or waste. The one that you are producing, it's not like it's going to the right place. Or recycling, that's a way that you can do it. And there are controls in cities to not pollute as much. But the ideal would be to switch to solar energy or another type of energy that doesn't produce much waste. Okay, that would be my explanation. Bye, girls. want to stop sharing and stop recording.